Welcome to Zimmerman Podcast, episode 54. Today, I'm talking about the importance of cultivating peace with household ceremonies. I've spent a good chunk of my career creating beautiful spaces for events and weddings. I carefully arranged flower bouquets and fiddled with every flower down to the last ranunculus, knowing that small details have a big impact when it comes to sacred experiences like weddings. I applied this same care and intentionality to my own home and life. Today, I'm sharing what I've been doing to cultivate peace in my home with daily ceremonies. All right, you ready? Let's do it.
Welcome to the Zimmerman Podcast with your host, CEO, wedding professional, educator, and mom, Jessica Zimmerman. In just 2 years, Jessica went from facing bankruptcy to taking home a six-figure salary. She turned a business-saving $100,000 loan into a $1 million empire. As a creative entrepreneur, a healthy work-life balance seems just as unattainable as a six-figure income. But Jessica Zimmerman is here to show you it's possible. With the right tools and insider tips and some hard work, your craziest dreams can become your daily routine. If you set some boundaries and commit to healthy changes, you can create a business and a life you love. So let's make your business work for you.
Over the past few years, even though my work has shifted from wedding work to education, the things I loved about weddings are still showing up in my work and my life today. When we did weddings, I loved being able to create a carefully curated environment for a couple, knowing that aesthetics and small details can help create an unforgettable experience for all the guests. Many of you have a Pinterest board filled with ideal images of how you want your home to be one day. Have you ever noticed that it isn't really about the way the image looks, but more how the image you've pinned makes you feel? You don't need to wait for someday. You don't need to wait for some huge budget to create a specific mood or feeling in your home. And sure, you don't need to cultivate peace in your home using aesthetics and small details. But for me, I know our days also go so much better when I do. The truth is, it's up to me to create a peaceful environment for my family in our home. And small changes really do have the ability to impact our days for the better. I'm 100% responsible for the environment my family is in. There is so much in life I have no control over, but I do have control over whether we're going to wake up to yesterday's mess or a clean space. I can determine if I'm going to wake up to kids shaking me awake asking for food, or if I'm going to wake up before them so I can start my day on my own terms. I personally choose to wake up at 4:30 a.m. I get an entire hour and a half to myself, and it's the sweetest time. I light candles around the house, turn on some music, and make myself some tea. I have time to read, sit in silence, and get some alone time before my family wakes up. When I get up before them, I get to choose how I start my day and theirs. It feels so good to wake them up with breakfast, music playing, some candles, all those small things that make a big difference. The energy in the house is good, and I know it makes a huge impact on why my kids wake up peacefully and content. I always knew this was true because when it came to floral design, I knew those small details mattered. When it came to wedding planning, I knew details mattered. When it comes to courses and marketing and book edits, details matter. That's why I apply that same practice to my home life in smaller and maybe even more important ways. For example, I have a different Spotify playlist for different times of day. In the morning, it's some soft but encouraging music. I only turn on lamps in the mornings so no one wakes up to those harsh overhead lights. When it gets a little brighter outside, I open the windows to get some natural light and fresh air in the house. In the middle of the day, we have more high energy music. In the evening, I dim the lights back down, close the windows and the shades, and put on some softer music. When I switch the music, I also switch out the candles different scents for different times of day. Maybe one day my children will smell a familiar scent and remember breakfast time in the kitchen with our family. Or maybe they'll hear a certain song and recall their mom making dinner in the kitchen while they danced in the living room. By the time we're ready for bed, we're calm and we're ready to hunker down. Okay, so summer 2019, imagine me waking up at 5 a.m., taking my kids to the gym while I work out with my trainer, going to the pool, playing blocks on the living room floor, and then wham, totally out of energy by 4 p.m., crawling into bed in my Christmas pajamas. I was already doing all the energy boosting things I could think of. Then my nutritionist told me about BeePowered from Beekeepers Naturals. I just take a spoonful of the BeePowered superfood honey every morning, and I'm not kidding, I see a huge difference. I know not everyone can have a nutritionist, but anyone can get this superfood honey, and I'm making it even more accessible for you. If you use the link in my show notes or simply go to zimmermanpodcast.com/bee, you'll get 15% off your order from Beekeepers Naturals. So if you're a tired entrepreneur or foggy-brained parent, you need this stuff. Again, go to zimmermanpodcast.com/BEE. I have a 6-year-old daughter and 4-year-old twin boys. I also have a full-time business. My life is full, just like yours. From the moment I owned my own home, I told myself, life is filled with so much. And as an entrepreneur, my brain is always going. I need my home to be clean and calm, a soft space to land. And when I had kids, I decided I would teach them the same, that a clean space allows them to feel calmer. This means cleaning up messes before we make new ones. And it's totally worth it when it means we can start the day really ready to start it, instead of spending the first half of every day waking up and playing catch up. Now, of course, there are times when things get a little out of control. Christmas break comes to mind, as a matter of fact. But for the most part, our house is peaceful and it is calm. And even the kids agree that it's better when we put in a little extra effort to put things away, know where things are, and do things purposefully. I've taught them this by simply saying, we can't move on to the next thing until we've finished with what we're doing. And we aren't finished until it's put away. As I'm recording this, we are in the middle of the COVID-19 quarantine. This time has given me more intentionality during this weird season, and it's also introduced more questions about what we'll do when life returns to normal. Do we want to go back to traditional school? Maybe we do, maybe we don't. It's allowing us to see that we have this time, which has always been the biggest motivator for me. And now that I have all this time, I'd be lying if I said I didn't love it. And I do. I love it. It's also causing me to reevaluate how we live life normally, because at the end of the day, we do have control over how we live. And if there's parts of quarantine life that you're loving, you're the one who can choose to bring that with you when this is over. I love that this season has reminded me how important the little things are, even if they seem small and insignificant, like candles and Spotify playlists. They're not. I hope you heard something that spoke to you today. My goal isn't to add one more thing to the list of things you feel like you should be doing but can't, or make you feel like you need to go out and buy some scented candles. But if you're feeling helpless or like you're spinning out of control, I want to give you permission to slow down and be purposeful in everything you do. One of my favorite mantras is, how can I see that this is happening for me, not to me? I know this pandemic is the source of a lot of fear and anxiety, but even in dark seasons that are full of confusion, there is good to be found, and we can create it in our own lives. I'd love to hear how you cultivate peace in your household ceremonies this week. If you try something new, be sure to send me a direct message or tag me on Instagram at @JessicaZimmerman_. I'll see you next time on Zimmerman Podcast.
If you loved what you heard today, even if you liked it a lot, you should subscribe and leave a review. We'll see you back here next time in the Zimmerman Podcast.